Do you know where most investors are actually putting their money right now? We crunched the March 2025 mutual fund data and found some eye opening trends. From SIP stoppages hitting record high to certain schemes quietly becoming investors' favorites, we found some really interesting data points. In today's video, I'm going to share some surprising insights into what the data reveals about investor sentiment and changing risk appetite. So, if you are already investing in mutual funds or you plan to invest in mutual funds, keep on watching the video till the end. Before we move on, a very special announcement. Har Ghar Investor goes global. I'm going to have my next event in Dubai on the 4th of May. The seats are limited, only 100 seats. So please don't forget to check out the link in the description box and in the pinned comment and book your seats right away. If you're in Dubai, do that. If you're not in Dubai, what to do? Please share this with your friends and relatives in Dubai so that they can proceed with the booking. But what will they get to learn? Number one, if they are Indians who are residing in Dubai, why should they invest in Indian stock market? Number two, how can they invest in Indian stock markets? I'm going to talk about my Nifty target and very important, some important points about basics of money management. But is it only about education? No. Apart from knowledge, it will be an amazing experience because we are going to have a lot of games, quizzes, and of course, a lot of selfies. So don't forget to register quickly using the link in the pinned comment and in the description box. So see you soon in Dubai. Hey folks, CA Rachana Ranade here and I welcome you all to a very important video because today we are going to talk about mutual funds and we are going to drill down into March 2025 monthly data and also zoom out for a yearly data. Now what we saw in the introduction part of the video was that mutual fund SIP stoppage ratio is almost at an all-time high. But first and foremost, we need to understand the concept and then drill down into the numbers. Okay. What is the simple meaning of this ratio? It's as simple as discontinued number of SIPs divided by newly registered SIPs. Okay. Am I talking about the amount? No, I'm talking about the number of SIPs. I'm not going to repeat this every single time. Just remember this SIP stoppage ratio is about the number of SIPs, not about the amount. Fair enough? Okay. Now, when I'm talking about newly registered SIPs, it's very simple to understand how many more SIPs were started during a month or during a year, whatever. But if I'm talking about number of discontinued SIPs, there could be multiple possibilities why this happens, why people would discontinue SIPs. Possibility number one is a normal discontinuance where people get scared, oh my god, market is going down, let me discontinue my SIP. That is the reason for discontinuance, possibility number one. Possibility number two, the tenure itself is complete. So, for example, I started an SIP for 12 months. 12 months are complete, and that is the reason why I discontinue the SIP. And possibility number three could be I could switch from one SIP to other SIP. Now, if I, as an example, if I were to switch from a FlexiCap to a thematic, what could happen is that in our ratio, the discontinued SIP number will also go up by one, and the new registered SIP number will also go up by one. Okay, so the third one is not very scary for me, but the first and second are a little bit problematic as far as the number of SIPs are concerned. But what has been the percentage? Shall we have a look at that? Now, if you see, financial year 23-24, the SIP stoppage ratio was 52.41%. Now, think logically. If I'm talking about anything less than 100, what do I mean by it? I mean that number of newly registered SIPs are way higher than number of discontinued SIPs. If it is 52%, newly registered SIPs are going to be almost double as compared to discontinued SIPs. Okay. What is the scenario in FY 24-25? This number is at 75.63%. Now understand, has the number of discontinued SIPs risen at a faster pace? Yes, but still new registered SIPs are higher as compared to discontinued SIPs. So yearly data is not a big problem. Let's drill down into monthly data now. Monthly data, February 2025, SIP stoppage ratio is 122.76%. Now, what do I mean by this? Now, discontinued SIPs are higher as compared to freshly or new SIPs. So, this is something that bothers me. And even if I'm talking about March 2025, it is 128.27%. So, again, same old thing. Number of discontinued SIPs is higher than newly registered SIPs. But this is a ratio. What are the actual numbers? Have a look at this. March 2025, actually discontinued or completed SIP stands at 51.55 lakh SIPs, and the newly registered SIPs only stands at 40.19 lakh SIPs. So, if I were to think logically, oh, number of discontinued SIPs is very high as compared to newly registered SIPs. In that case, the SIP contribution should also drop drastically. Amount of SIP should also drop drastically, ideally. But is that the case? Let's have a look at the yearly data first. Financial year 23-24, the overall SIP contribution now in rupees, now we have shifted from number of SIPs to amount of SIPs. 1,99,219 crores was the amount of SIP that got deposited in 23-24. For 24-25, this number went up to 2,89,352 crores SIPs, and that's a fantastic increase of 45.24% on a year-on-year basis. I'm sure during this fall you might have heard news that FIs were selling very rigorously, but DIs were like, don't worry, we are here to buy out whatever you want to sell. And that power for DIs comes from the fact that SIPs in rupees has not at all gone down drastically. In fact, on a year-on-year basis, it's a mind-blowing increase. But what about monthly data? If I were to check February 2025, the monthly contribution stands at roughly 26,000 crore rupees. And if I were to check for March 2025 data, it has slightly dropped to 25,926 crore rupees. That's a decline of 0.28% on a month basis. What could be my analysis, my interpretation of this? Please understand. Newly registered SIPs are dropping. Discontinued SIPs is increasing. Means what? Number of SIPs is a problem, but amount is not a problem. So there could be a possibility that those people who are doing low ticket size SIPs, 100 rupees SIP, 500 rupees SIP, 1000 rupees SIP, those who may not have that much knowledge, those who may not be able to build the conviction in the market, they might have been the ones who stopped SIPs at a faster pace versus those people who are doing high ticket size SIPs, maybe 1 lakh rupees SIP per month, 2 lakh, 10 lakh, whatever rupees per month, and they have enough knowledge either on their own or someone else manages it for them. So this is where I think knowledge plays an important role. If you have the enough knowledge, you will not be forced to stop your SIPs. And this, I mean, if you have that knowledge, here the problem that I can see right now, that the rich is becoming richer and the poor is becoming poorer by not investing in SIPs, by not rupee cost averaging their investments. And this is not because of any government policies, because of lack of knowledge. But then as a person, how do you ensure that you have the relevant knowledge? I hope you have understood. Answer is very simple. What do? You go to my website www.rachanaranade.com. We have a separate course on magic of mutual funds, and if you want to know what all things are covered in this course, everything is written here. In fact, not only the entire course, you will also get an opportunity to interact with me on every month. It's a monthly Zoom meeting that I conduct with my learners. You'll get a certificate of completion. You'll also have a dedicated WhatsApp support team for you. So don't worry, you will definitely get to learn a lot about mutual funds. Don't forget to use the coupon code CARRYT while enrolling. And if you still have any doubts, don't forget to just ping or drop a WhatsApp on 90221 96678. Well, now this fact has been drilled into our mind that amount wise SIPs, there is no big deal. Okay, but the big question now is that where is the money flowing? Which are the type of mutual fund schemes which are being preferred more? And for that, what are we going to do? We are going to have a look at what is the total inflow, what is the total outflow, and what is the net inflow, that is inflow minus outflow, that is net inflow in every single scheme. Okay, and by that analysis we'll understand that which scheme is being preferred. We'll have a look at the monthly data and we'll also zoom out to a yearly data. Ready? Let's dive in. Now if you see here, I have the entire data for the month of March. If you see here, if I'm talking only about funds mobilized for the month of March 2025, that is nothing but inflows. I have actually sorted it in a high to low category. You can see here FlexiCap funds has the highest inflows with 9,248 crores. Second highest is sectoral or thematic funds with 9,090 crores. And third one is small cap funds with 6,912 crores. Okay, fair enough. I'm just going to talk about top three. You can obviously read for all other funds through your screen, right? Now let's understand about the redemptions, that is the outflows. For FlexiCap, it's 3,633 crores. Sectoral thematic, 8,920 crores. And small cap, 2,820 crores. Now with this, if I talk about inflows minus outflows, that is how I'll get net inflows. Net inflows is highest in FlexiCap fund, which is 5,615. Sectoral or thematic has a net inflow of only 170 crores, and small cap again has the second highest with 4,092 crore rupees. Fantastic. I understood about equity schemes right now, and that too only for the month of March. Okay. We will go to the zoomed out view for a yearly view, but before that, let's also understand about certain index categories. Now, if you have a look at index funds, you can see here index funds net inflow. Now, you know this. I'm just going to round it off. Roughly 12,000 crores ka inflow, roughly 9,000 crores ka outflow. And if you see here, 3,500 crores roughly as a net inflow for index funds. But where is the highest inflow happening, net inflow happening? That is other ETFs. It's not even gold ETF. In fact, gold ETF is at minus 77 crores. So there is a net outflow in gold ETFs, and other ETFs can see a net inflow of 10,961 crores for the month of March. Now, when you check what is included in other ETF, it's not only, of course, silver ETFs is a part of other ETFs. It's not only silver ETFs though. It can include silver ETFs, or it can also include liquid ETFs. Like we have liquid funds, we have liquid ETFs also. Like we have thematic funds, we have thematic ETFs also. So all other categories of ETFs put together are in other ETFs, and that has seen a highest net inflow. Now let's zoom out to a yearly view, financial year 24-25. Again, I'm talking about equity, not of index funds, but here you can see sectoral or thematic has a highest net inflow of 1,46,656 crores, followed by the second one at FlexiCap at 49,580 crores. And okay, chalo, third is multi-cap fund with 42,282 crores. Okay. Now, if you have already done my course on mutual funds, you already know about the difference between thematic funds, flexi-cap funds, and multi-cap funds. But if I were to understand one important point about the advantages that flexi-cap fund would have over a thematic fund, the first one would be that in a flexi-cap fund, what happens is that your money gets parked across different market caps and different sectors also. So the mutual fund manager can decide that, okay, the market is rising right now, I would want to park more money in mid cap and small cap and comparatively lower portion in large caps. Oh, the market is falling. As a fund manager, I would want to switch from bigger exposure to small and mid caps to a lower exposure in small and mid caps and increase my exposure in large caps. That flexibility is given in a flexi cap fund. So typically, I can say that the risk comparatively is lower in a flexi cap fund. If I'm comparing it with a thematic fund, of course, fund managers' ability to adjust accordingly is a big point to be considered. But then, why did I say that thematic fund may the risk could be a shade higher? Obviously, see, in a thematic fund, majority of your fund money collected by the mutual fund scheme goes to a specific theme. Now let's take an example. There was an IT thematic fund, and you can imagine what could be the problem with your portfolio right now. High risk, yes, but assume that you invested in a bank and financial thematic fund, and I'm sure you'll be really, really happy right now. So, can I say that thematic funds are typically a high risk, high return category? Answer is absolutely yes. Here, what can a fund house do? Fund house can say we can have multiple thematic funds. For a fund house, for example, a fund house can have a defense fund, an infra fund, a PSU fund, a banking fund, an IT fund, whatever. Okay, but if I'm talking about going back to FlexiCap, they only have one FlexiCap which is allowed. So I hope you have understood overall where the fund is, where the money is flowing. If it is about a yearly data, choice number one is thematic funds. But now you know it comes with a high risk, high return. Second one is FlexiCap fund. Now you know here the risk is comparatively lower because ideally fund manager will be intelligent enough to shift or to shuffle the money between large cap, mid cap, and small caps. So, all in all, what did we understand in today's video? That number one, though the number of SIPs are dropping, the amount of SIPs is not dropping drastically. It means that those who have knowledge are having an edge over others. They know the market situation, they are upskilling themselves, they are having more confidence in their investments, and they will be ideally the winners in the longer term. So, you can definitely miss out if you stop your SIPs. Don't do that. If you ask me, don't stop your SIPs, because ideally everyone knows that timing the market is extremely difficult, and ideally you should stay invested during all the ups and downs of the market, and that is where you will truly enjoy this journey in mutual funds, and it will help you to build wealth in the longer term. I hope you found a lot of value in today's video. If you did, don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to share this video with your friends. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye bye.